Welcome, traders. So it is Tuesday, the 21st of October. Let's have a quick look at some of the news coming out this week. So, predominantly, there's a ton of US news coming out. I am just knowing Republicans as I do, and the absolute disdain for actually doing their jobs. They hate governing. I just am not convinced that they will. I've heard apparently the plan is for the US government to reopen this week, but I'm just not convinced. I really don't think they'll do it unless they absolutely have to. That being said, that is the rumor that we'll see. And so my point is, how does that tie back to this? Is whether we get US data or not. So there's a lot of GBP data. I pay attention to this stuff. I think it's very important because some of this is going to be influenced by tariffs. Failing that, I keep an eye on the US stuff, and let's see if they open. Let's put it this way: if they were closed for the next 2 months, I wouldn't be surprised. They just don't care about running the country. They don't really serve their constituents. They tend to serve their wealthy benefactors, and that's it. So we'll see ultimately if they ultimately do that. But until then, we're just going to have to see if we get any data out of the US at the moment. So that being said, let's carry on. Let's have a look at the charts. Let's go back to the charts. Let's have a look here. So starting off with the VIX, the first thing that I want to point out to you is that predominantly the markets are very calm. So we had a little bit of a spike here, but the markets have come back down, and they tend to operate within this area. So the markets are just not stressed by whatever is going on at the moment. They don't really see that as a threat at this point in time. Doesn't mean the markets aren't wrong and that there isn't potentially a bubble forming. It just means the markets are not stressed about it at this time. Moving on and having a look at the US dollar index. The most important thing to take away from this is that we are still stuck within the last 6 months range. We're still stuck within that area. So that means that if you're going to have a look at euro dollar here, you will see, for some reason my internet connection is quite thin, you'll see that we're still stuck within this range. And actually what that means is that with regards to the majors, there are very few really good high quality trends happening. So don't be surprised if you've been trading them lately and you have had a higher number of losing trades. That is going to be the reason why. It's not really per se you, it's probably the markets. Let's have a look at Kiwi dollar. So Kiwi was weakening quite a bit. So it was one of the pairs that had actually been breaking out. It's pulling back into the moving averages here. And so there's quite a bit of indecision here, but there could be a continuation to the downside. So that Kiwi dollar could ultimately end up being a very nice weak pair to trade. So, and then one of the others, dollar CAD as well. Let's have a look there. Let's have a look. And dollar CAD also potentially moving to the upside there. So dollar CAD showing a little bit of upside potential, putting back into the moving averages. And let's have a look. Let's move away from currencies at the moment. Let's have a look at gold. So gold is looking amazing to me. It's a really nice pullback on the daily. The question now is simply, is this a weekly pullback or simply a daily pullback? And so this is what I'm going to be looking for this week, is a bullish candle to form here today or tomorrow. I think gold is going to attempt to take another run at the highs. Whether it succeeds or not is going to be the real question. If it fails, we'll see a deeper correction down towards the 50, which will be the same as a weekly correction here. So that's really what we're looking at here. But for now, I'm leaning into a daily continuation first. That is my plan A. The same here with silver. Silver's had a really good correction. In fact, from a weekly perspective, it's almost a really good correction as well. Gold is the one that's the most overextended. Point being is that my plan A, the one that I expect is most likely going to play out, is going to be a daily correction at this point, but I do understand that a weekly correction is also a possibility. I'm not convinced that the bubble has burst at this time. However, let's just see how it plays out. Let's have a look at crude oil. So we'll go ahead, let's have a look at light crude. Sorry for this, for the delay in loading up. There you go. So crude oil, to my mind, has still got some way to go down towards that. It is going to find a little bit of support at 55, but I still think the downside towards 55 to even lower down towards $50 is very feasible. And so aside from some temporary support at the moment and any pullbacks, I still see this as a very nice downtrend. I'd like to see any pullbacks here as selling opportunities in the same way that I see gold as buying opportunities. Moving on to the global indices, they look amazing. They're very happy. Looking at this on a weekly, they pull back, bullish candle breaking higher. I meant to actually do this on the weekend, but for the most part, these continue to look incredibly bullish. My expectation for now is that they will continue to move higher. That'll be the same here for S&P. Still just looks fantastic. All right, so overall, the weekly here looking incredible, and we continue to push higher. Don't really expect any kind of pullback at this time. it'll be the same here. And actually moving away from the US ones, we tend to see even more bullishness, not less. Here we have the Russell 2000 on that weekly pulling back, continuing to push up. Yes, I suspect there is some resistance around that 2.5 mark, 2,500 mark. But at the same time, I still think it's going to continue to attempt to push higher. The FTSE itself also pulling back. Beautiful bullish candle this week. So to me, this is a potential shorter-term swing trading opportunity or short-term buying opportunity at a nice level into the previous highs. Let's call that a level of support or resistance. Nevertheless, that's a nice bullish candle, and therefore I think we've got a really nice setup here. We're going to possibly see this FTSE actually attempt to push higher and finish higher by the end of the week. The DAX as well, right up near its level of resistance. Overall, this looks nice and bullish, and I think we're close to this breaking out. We've had a beautiful 6-month consolidation. The DAX has had one of its best couple of years ever, and it's had a nice 6-month holiday. So I think it's looking nice and bullish, and I think we can expect this to break out higher. Let's have a look at the French CAC. So the reason I bring this up is because the French CAC has been one of the choppier charts, and it is looking so good right now. It's looking really super bullish, and I think we're going to see a breakout. And in fact, even as I record this, we're very close to all-time highs. So therefore, I think we can expect reasonably to see that continue to push higher. Euro stocks also all-time highs looking incredible. The monthly chart looking good. Here's a really nice level of potential resistance, which becomes support. Looks amazing, and therefore I think there is much upside potential. Let's have a look at the Nikkei. So the Nikkei also continuing almost straight up parabolic, looking really good. Very, very bullish, very, very happy at this point in time. And let's have a look, finish off with the ASX. ASX continues to look incredibly bullish. Here we go, very simple stuff. Pulling back, retesting the highs, bullish candle continuing up. That weekly not looking too overextended, the monthly not even looking overextended. So for now, again, my expectation now is these markets will continue to push higher. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin coming down to a level of resistance, testing there for support. Small bullish weekly candle currently forming, and it is stuck within a monthly range. But for me, for now, unless we break below 100,000, my expectation is Bitcoin will hold, and in fact is very likely to attempt to resume a move back up to 123. Looks good. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is still holding at support at this point in time, and so we'll see if it can push back on that, but it looks good. Again, a bullish candle here. I would expect this to ideally move higher by the end of the week. So guys, ladies and gents, let's finish off here with a little bit of Tesla, a little bit of Apple. So Tesla, again, bullish candle here. I think we're going to push on. It is going to attempt to take another run at the highs over here. And then Apple also here. Beautiful. Breaking on today. Looking really good. Again, looking amazing. So for my investment clients on Substack, you were in on this. Very good. Well done. We got in over here. So nice pullback. Again, same thing. And so again, I'm very proud of you. Overall, ladies and gents, we're in a very, very strong market at the moment. And let's just see how much longer it can keep going for. So I'll leave you with that. Please trade carefully and responsibly, manage your risk appropriately. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not go wild. Thank you very much.